Morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. We have mixed trade overnight. Beans about unchanged, maybe up a penny. Soybean oil is higher. We've got corn up and wheat down. Still a lot of hangover from the lack of changes USDA made in their March U.S. and world S&Ds. We did see CONAB come out with higher estimates of their corn and soybean crop. They've got the corn crop at 108 million tons versus 105.5 previous. They also have the beans at 135.1 versus their previous guess of 133.8. There are some private guesses of a survey that has the Brazil corn crop at 105. And we see in Argentina, the dryness continues to have forecasters looking at a crop basically around maybe 46 for both corn and soybeans. It's the export sales day. Again, one of the things that the market is concerned about is a slowdown, especially in soybean and wheat export sales. We're expecting wheat sales between 150 and 350,000 tons versus 219 last week. Corn 4 to 750 versus a net 115 last week, and beans 200 to 350 versus 334 last week. Some of the selling yesterday in the beans could also be due to concern about the spreading of the African swine fever in the Chinese hog herd. We do note that, though, in January, the pig inventory was up 35% from last year. And then we do also note that for Russia, their January wheat exports were 3 million tons versus 2 million last year. So the bean market, I think, is finding some consumer pricing in the meal underneath the market. I think that $14 is a value for now, for what we know. As far as the corn market, also some consumer buying, especially for the summer months, underneath the market. And the 535 area is probably a good area of support for now. And in the wheat, we continue to erode on the fact that USDA did not drop Europe and Russian export numbers, and that it looks like Russia's still going to try to offer some wheat until all these taxes kick in. As they kick in, though, they become less competitive. But right now, considering everything freight-wise, U.S. is not competitive to the major buyers in North Africa or the Mideast. We also note that the U.S. Congress passed the stimulus bill. You've got stocks a little bit higher. You've got the dollar a little bit lower, waiting to see what ECB is going to do with their interest rates and their economic outlook. We've got crude a little bit higher, and gold also is higher due to the lower dollar. So we'll kind of see what export sales has to say. We'll see how we want to go into this week end with the funds long 160,000 beans, 330 corn, and still long 23,000 wheat. Sitting on some pretty important support levels, and then we'll just kind of see how we trade into the USDA March 31 critical report and into the U.S. spring weather. As always, these are my thoughts, not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day. And remember, always treat people like you yourself would like to be treated.